Coming from Reuters, Musk keeps Tesla SpaceX merger speculation alive, cites growing overlap. Yay! Exciting. So basically, when Elon Musk bought Twitter and then couldn't turn it around, he had XAI purchase Twitter so that it seemed to be a successful company. And then when XAI was burning cash by the barrel full, he had SpaceX purchase XAI to make it seem like it was a successful company. And then once SpaceX owned both XAI and Twitter and it was causing some problems, he then IPO'd it to make this whole mess seem like it was a successful company. And now that the stock price for SpaceX is burning in, currently it's at $113 a share. It's been down to 110.85 a share. Not quite close enough for me to do a specific video on the SpaceX stock, but pretty darn close, right? It came out at $135 a share. Initially, people were purchasing it for $150 a share. The high about a month ago was $225 a share. So it has literally dropped by about 50% since its all-time high. So now that the SpaceX valuation is burning in, it looks like he wants to merge it with Tesla. And yeah, this sounds appropriate for 2026. And this is the weird thing we have going on right now with this whole, like with Elon Musk and the corporate capture that is currently happening. One of the things I thought was interesting for, was it Gwen Shotwell? So she's the CEO of SpaceX, is literally, and it's like one of those off the cuff statements that should be an off the cuff statement that nobody really cares about. But then you think about what it really means. And you're kind of like, what the fuck, really? And basically, she said, well, it would be easier on Elon Musk if both companies were combined. Now, think about this at this point in time. And this is where I want you to really understand with both SpaceX and with Tesla. These are publicly traded companies, right? The important thing to understand with publicly traded companies is the CEO is not the owner of the company. The founder is not the owner of the company, right? The people who own the equity, the people who own the shares in the company, they're the ones that are owners of the company. And the weird thing that we have going on with, again, this whole, I don't know, the Elon Musk universe or whatever, is everything is based around whatever, his tangent for the day is, which is a very weird thing for publicly traded companies. If you look at Tesla, Tesla is currently worth $1 trillion. If you look at SpaceX, it's, I don't know, it's worth like 1.3 or $1.4 trillion at this point. So these are trillion-dollar companies that are literally being moved by the whims of one particular person. That's weird. I mean, the board has no real authority, right? We talk about board capture. He's completely and utterly captured the board. In SpaceX, he's literally captured the board. And basically with Tesla, he's basically done it, but from a practical standpoint. And so now he just controls these companies. And the interesting thing to think about this with SpaceX and Tesla is when you hear people talk about Elon Musk, they say never bet against Elon Musk. Betting against Elon Musk is always wrong. Except for all the times that he failed. Like, that's one of the weird things with Elon Musk. You realize how much people ignore that he failed? Like, I don't even think about Hyperloop anymore, right? But he failed for Hyperloop. What the hell's going on with the Boring Company? He failed with the Roadster. What the hell's going on with the semi-trucks? The robo taxi seems to be an also ram. What happened to cyber taxi? Remember that? There was this two-seater piece of shit that was supposed to be in development right now. That doesn't seem to be around. Full self-driving that doesn't actually kill people. There's no working on that one, right? There are so many things that Elon Musk does where he fails at them, but for some reason in the mythology, in the narrative, nobody ever focuses on all of his failures. You have to focus on the things that he was successful at. The thing that I think is interesting though with Tesla, especially bring up Tesla, because the idea is, well, you don't want to be a short seller against Tesla. If there's one thing we've learned about Tesla is you don't want to short sell against Tesla. But if you go and you actually take a look at Tesla stock, it's actually down. So this is on the 1 year. So on the 1 year, it's up by 0.91%. But if you go to the year to date, so basically since January of this year, it's actually down by 29, basically 30% it's been down. By the 6 month, about the same thing at this point. It's down by, again, almost about 30%. On the month, it's down by 18%. On the 5 day, it's down by 20%. And on the 1 day, it's down by 4%, but it's doing what it's doing. But one of the important things to understand here is that, if you were a short seller in Tesla over the past 6 months, you've actually made a good little pile of money. Right? But there's this thought, there's this narrative, there's this story that you never want to short sell against Tesla, except if you're going to make a pile of money short selling against Tesla. And so that's where it becomes very weird here, right? So we got SpaceX. SpaceX is a failing company. Nothing about SpaceX makes sense, right? The idea that it should be a multi-trillion-dollar company because of its AI that nobody fucking wants to use, because of space-based data centers, which is basically launching a rack of servers into space at a time, because it owns Twitter, because, again, space launch capacity is impressive, but it's also the revenue of OnlyFans. Right? When you look at SpaceX, it is screwed on so many levels. And so that's where I guess the tie-in, trying to get Tesla and SpaceX to come together, that is what we're currently being sold, which is, oh, Lordy. I hate 2026. Have I told you, you may not know this, but I in fact hate 2026 with a passion. Tesla CEO Elon Musk on Wednesday left the door open to the EV maker merging with his other trillion-dollar plus valued firm, SpaceX, declining to dismiss the possibility and citing growing overlap between the companies. And this is one of the big problems that we've been seeing with Elon Musk companies. One of the things you hear with people, they're like, well, Elon Musk is doing something. Well, here's the thing. You don't invest in Elon Musk. You invest in Tesla, you invest in SpaceX. Maybe you're a really rich person that invested in Twitter or whatever else. But these are individual companies. They're individual companies and they're individual entities. And one of the big issues that's been happening, though, is that he's trying to tie these companies together in weird ways. So, like one of the big things with Tesla, right? Tesla is not a car company. It's not an energy company. I guess it's an AI company. I mean, I don't know, whatever it is today, right? So today it's like an AI and robot company. But one of the weird things is where Elon Musk literally had Tesla give up the GPUs that it already had. It had already acquired, right? Gave them up to give to XAI like a year or two ago, right? And the important thing to understand, these are two entirely different corporations. But one is just handing over because Elon Musk would prefer it, right? They talk about that now with Tesla, right? Tesla is supposed to be an AI. I mean, really think about this for a second. Tesla is supposed to be an AI company, and it's renting services from Grok. So one AI company is renting another AI company's services. Does that make you feel comfortable about the value of Tesla's artificial intelligence? Apparently, even with the Optimus robots, this is the one thing that floored me. Even with the Optimus robots, they're talking about essentially having the Optimus robots renting the AI capability from SpaceX or XAI or whatever the hell it's called today. Now, understand. Elon Musk literally said a couple of years ago that building cars essentially has no value. That takes you to bankruptcy. The only way that Tesla is successful is essentially with artificial intelligence, right? That was his argument. Whatever. And now what you're seeing out of Tesla is getting more and more in bed with basically buying their artificial intelligence from Elon Musk's other corporation, which basically then means Tesla is creating all this stuff that is essentially worthless. Which I would think, if you actually had a board of directors who was not captured, who was not under the thumb of the fucking CEO, you would think they might want to do something about that. That is a very bad idea. But instead, they seem to be binding more and more stuff together. The Terafab that is coming out, that is going to be a partnership between SpaceX and Tesla. Who owns how much of that partnership? I guess that will depend on what Elon Musk wants on that particular day. We got to take a look at this. As you can tell from the many quote, as you can tell from the many collaborations on so many fronts with SpaceX, there's more and more overlap, Musk said on Tesla's earning call. Quote, we can't talk about, combining companies and that kind of thing on an earnings call, he says. Quote, it's got to be done with the appropriate process. So putting that out for people, that little carrot out there. Hey, what if SpaceX and Tesla combined? Gene Munster, managing partner at Tesla investor Deepwater Asset Management, said the call left him more convinced the companies were destined to be joined over the next few years. Quote, I would put the odds of these two will combine at 90% today, he said in a video posted on social media. Quote, if you were going to ask me yesterday, I would have said it's 80%. Tesla already supplies batteries and manufacturing technologies for some of SpaceX's projects, while the companies are jointly developing Terafab, a semiconductor manufacturing facility designed to produce AI chips. Proponents argue that combining the companies could simplify Musk's corporate empire and create a more integrated company spanning artificial intelligence, robotics, manufacturing, energy, and space infrastructure. JP Morgan analyst said this month that, quote, operational integration between the two entities is already deep, citing shared engineering talent, AI infrastructure, Terafab, and Musk's leadership as factors that, quote, would facilitate an eventual combination. So this apparently is what is coming up. Who the hell knows what'll actually happen? Again, it is 2026. Sometimes sane things happen. Sometimes some sane things happen in 2026, but not very often. But this looks to be like the path that they're going down. They've been talking about this whole SpaceX Tesla merger for quite a while now. Being Elon Musk, being that he has his little cult around him, I would say it's probably almost definite it will happen sometime in the future. The interesting question, though, is what is the value proposition of that, right? If you look at SpaceX is a complete and utter disaster from a valuation perspective as a company. And then if you look at Tesla, there's a real question of what is its future, whatever its past was. What is its future, right? If you look at the share price of Tesla, right, from its high, if you go back to its high was at 485. We're down to 307. It has literally lost a third of its value from its high. And the curious thing is, like, whenever you talk about the Tesla valuation, what everybody likes to look at is this whole hockey stick thing. So if you go back to 2019, it was worth $16 a share. So by 2021, it was up to $371 a share. So it went up by a massive amount. But the interesting thing to look at with Tesla is if you go to the 5-year, what you notice is the valuation starts to become a little bit more stable. Right here, back in 2021, it was worth $214 a share. So it's up by about 30% since then. But if you look here at their high, it was $407 a share. So literally, it's worth $100 less now than it was 5 years ago. Now, one of the problems with all of these kind of, share price things is it's, where things are on specific days. But the important thing to understand, though, is if you look at this basically has been trading within a band for about 5 years, right? Again, if we go back to Max, they've got a nice hockey stick going on from 2013 to 2017. They get that nice hockey stick. But if you start going to the 5-year, you start going to the 1-year, what you start to see is it's basically started trading in a rather regular band. And so if you look at it, Elon Musk himself has said there's no value in the cars, right? Tesla's electric vehicles on their own isn't worth a goddamn thing. Right? It's all about the artificial intelligence. But what we're seeing out of Tesla is they seem to be basically outsourcing their AI to companies like XA or AI or whatever. So it becomes a very big question about what is the value of artificial intelligence for Tesla. Beyond that, the big thing is supposed to be these Optimus robots, right? The idea that Optimus robots are a $20 trillion total addressable market, the whole 9 yards. And the question is, with the humanoid robots, even if you buy the argument of humanoid robots, which I don't, but even if you do buy it, there's a lot of competition in that sphere, right? Electric vehicles, you got to understand with electric vehicles, there has basically been in the United States exceedingly little competition, even in 2026, right? They had no competition for like the first over a decade of their life, no real competition. And then even now, as I've talked about many times before, I prefer Ford vehicles, right? I have a plug-in Ford Escape. I absolutely love it. And if Ford really focused on doing electric vehicles, I would buy a Ford electric vehicle in a heartbeat. I just like the fit and finish and the whole nine yards. I do like the Mustang Mach-E's, whatever else. The thing is, though, even Ford is pulling back, right? The American companies that were producing electric vehicles, even in 2026, they're pulling back their electric vehicle ambitions. So Tesla is still basically has a massive moat, and within the United States really has no valid competition. If you start looking at things like humanoid robots, holy shit, there's a lot of competition. Everybody's competing in humanoid robots. Look, Mark fucking Zuckerberg is trying to build humanoid robots, for Christ's sakes. So if you look at that, I mean, there is a big question of what is the future valuation of Tesla going to be, right? Past results do not equate to future gains or whatever else, right? And so it's going to be an interesting thing to take a look at is as the financial viability of SpaceX becomes ever more questionable, and as Tesla, right, stalls, as Tesla stalls, you combine those two companies. You're going to combine a financially unviable trillion-dollar company with a stalling trillion-dollar company to create. What are you creating there? What are you creating? So, anyways, what do you think about this? What do you think about Tesla and SpaceX possibly merging? What do you think about Elon Musk dangling this little carrot out in front of people? Do you think it's a smart idea? What do you think about betting against Elon Musk? What do you think about the myth of betting against Elon Musk? Where even though it's been proven many, 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 many times that betting against Elon Musk can actually be quite profitable. For some reason, the mythology is never bet against Elon Musk. I don't know. Put your thoughts down below. If you like these videos, do remember they're on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Link is down below. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.